Hey, good morning, class. For today's lesson, we will explore the introduction to life science. Okay, so welcome to Earth and Life Science. So we will go directly to our main discussion. Okay, so introduction to life science. So I will read first, then I will explain. Okay, life on Earth began 3 billion years ago, evolving from the most basic of microbes into an array of complexity over time. Every aspect of life, from the smallest submicroscopic living particle to the largest and most complex of plant and animal species, is included. So, life on Earth began around 3 billion years ago, according to that. At first, sabi dyan, life was very simple. Just tiny microbes that you will need a microscope to see. But as time passed, this simple life form became more complex, and that's how we eventually got plants, animals, and humans. So life science is the study of all of this, from the tiniest living particle like bacteria to the largest animal and plant. Example, imagine comparing a small gem to a giant blue whale. They look completely different, but both are part of life science. So where and how did life begin? Okay, there are many theories to consider about the origin of life. The evolutionists, particularly Charles Darwin, talk about the process of evolution to explain how life developed according to him. There was growth from a simple to a complex form. Okay, and according to that, there are many theories about where and how life began. Scientists and philosophers have debated this for centuries, like Charles Darwin, siya yung father of evolution. He explains that life developed from simple to complex form. That means the very first life was extremely simple. But over millions of years, it slowly developed into wide variety of organisms we see today. For example, it's like building block. You start with a simple block, and over time, you add more and more until you have an entire structure. That's how life evolved. Now let us go with the theories on the origin of life. Okay, so there are four main theories that we have here. Okay, special creation theory, spontaneous generation theory, biogenetic theory, abiogenetic synthesis theory. So that we have four. Okay, now let us go first with the special creation theory. Okay, also known as creationism. Itong theory na ito ay most commonly known as creationism that we already discussed in our previous discussion. It is believed that the universe and all life on earth were created by a supernatural being, often God, in their present form, rather than evolving over time. Okay, so we have here a picture. Okay, so there are four main theories about life, about the origin of life. So first, the special creation theory, which says that life was created by a supernatural being like God in its present form. Second, later I will discuss that. Okay, so okay, now let us go first with the special creation. So the first theory is called special creation. This means life was created by a supernatural being like God in We are created in the present form. We are in the present form, according to this belief, humans were created as a human. No, we are already human. We are not came from anything else. As God created everything, humans were created as a human na. No. So plants are plants and animals as animals without changing over time. This is a religious-based explanation rather than a scientific one. Example, this is similar to how some people believe that everything was designed and created exactly as it is today without evolution. Okay, I mean special creation. Now, spontaneous generation theory. This theory explains that living organisms spontaneously arise from non-living things. It is a hypothetical process by which living organisms develop from non-living matter. The Greek philosopher and biologist Aristotle, 284 to 322 before Christ, uh, is one of the firm belief of this theory. He believed that organisms can originate from inanimate objects such as dust, create lice, maggots from root rotting, sorry for the typo error, rotting meat, oyster generation slime, barnacle from rocks, and some insect from morning dew, falling leaves, animal flesh, human hair, and vegetation. Okay. So, dito sa spontaneous generation, the second theory, which is called that, this is the idea that living things can come from a non-living matter, according to them. Merong naniwala dito, yung Greek philosopher na si Aristotle, he believed in this theory, the spontaneous generation. For example, he thought maggots just appeared from rotting meat. When I was young, I also believed that if there is a rotting meat or rotting flesh, the maggots will eventually appear. Kaya siyempre, they do not have a scientific explanation during their time, kaya naniniwala sila doon. Okay. So people didn't yet understand that insect actually lay eggs. For example, if you leave bread out of, if you leave bread out and later you see mold growing. No. Pero walang naglalagay. Kaya naniwala sila na basta't may nabulok na or na panis na tinapay, eventually it will create a mold. Ganon. People long ago thought the bread magically created life. But today we know molds come from a tiny spores in the air, not from a bread itself. Okay. So, biogenetic theory. Okay, the biogenetic theory states that life produces life, that each animal and plant produce its own kind. It is proposed by Ernst Haeckel. Okay, the theory of biogenesis proposed that new living organism can only emerge from other previous existing living organism as a result of reproduction. So reproduction can occur sexually or asexually. However, life can only arise from living cells. Okay, so dito sa third theory na to, it is called the biogenetic theory or biogenesis. We can also call this biogenesis. According to this, that life can only come from pre-existing life. For example, a dog can only come from another dog, and a mango tree can only came from another mango tree. Okay, according to Ernst Haeckel, supported this idea, and later the scientists like Louis Pasteur proved it is true through experiment. Ginamitan nila ng experiment to. Okay, tsaka naman, it makes sense that life will came from its own kind. Human cannot came from a tree. Hindi tayo pwedeng manggaling sa kawayan. Okay, we are not came from the ocean. We came from a human. No. So think about chicken. You'll never see a chick hatching on a rock or a piece of wood. It always comes from an egg laid by another chicken. Okay, now let us go to a biogenetic synthesis theory. Okay, I will read again first, then I will explain. So, abiogenetic synthesis theory, also known as origin of life theory, proposed that life on Earth arose from non-living matter, specifically through natural chemical processes. This theory suggests that the first life form were simple and gradually evolved into more complex organism over vast period of time. According to Alexander Oparin, a Russian biochemist, the first organism were probably formed out of organic chemical processes that were simpler than those that exist today. Okay. So, ito yung pang fourth theory, ang abiogenetic synthesis theory. This is the modern scientific explanation on how life began. Sabi nga ni Alexander Oparin, isang Russian biochemist, sinuggest niya, life come from a non-living chemical on only early Earth. So this chemical combined and over a million years formed the first simple life form. Later, this simple life form evolved into more complex organism. Okay, so we all know that the requirement of life is just as simple. We need air, sunlight, water. Those are the simplest requirement to have a life. So nagkaroon tayo ng mga ganyan. Kaya over a million years, itong mga particles na to, mga molecules na to, eventually time pass, nagkaroon ng evolution. It evolved from a very simple cell, not a complex organism, into complex organism eventually. So imagine a chicken where you mix flour, sugar, and eggs. This is just an example. Imagine a kitchen where you mix flour, sugar, and eggs. With the right condition, you get cake. In the same way, the earth had the right ingredients, chemicals, sunlight, lightning, and over time, life formed. No. Okay, that is the abiogenetic synthesis theory. Now let us go with unifying themes in the study of life. Okay, we have here seven. Okay, now let us go first the number one, no, syempre. Basahin ko muna lahat. Then, a biological system. Number two, structure and function. Three, reproduction and inheritance. Four, interaction with the environment. Energy and life. Regulation, evolution, and adaptation. Number one, biological system. Okay, I'll read first. Biological system is a network of living components such as cells, organs, or entire ecosystem that work together to perform a unified function and maintain life. These systems are hierarchical now, medyo complex and organized across different scales of life. So this system applies to all level of life form from the biosphere all the way down to the molecules in the cells. Okay, the cellular basis of life, all organisms are made of cells. Multicellular organism has cells that are specialized for different function. In most multicellular organisms, cells are organized into higher level of organization. Beginning with cellular level, the next is the tissue, which is a group of similar cells that perform a specific function. Several type of tissue together make up organ system, and group of organ system make up organism. Okay, so that is the biological system. The first theme in biological system. Life is organized in levels. No. Magsisimula tayo sa cells from atoms. Then atoms will, pag pinagsama sa may mga atoms, it will produce molecules. Then, itong mga molecules na to, kapag nagsama-sama, it will create a macromolecules. Pag nagsama-sama itong mga molecules na to, it can create cells. And cells make tissues, and tissues make organs. Organ make organ system, and organ system make up an organism. No. All this part must work together as one system to keep life going. Hindi pa pwedeng may kanya-kanyang function itong mga parts ng mga system natin. Kaya for example, think of your body like a school. The students are like cells. Each classroom is like tissue. The whole building is like an organ. And when all the classroom and department work together, the school function properly, just like a living body. Hindi pwedeng school, walang estudyante. Hindi school yun. Hindi pwedeng walang teacher sa school. Okay, so all those parts function together. Hindi pa pwedeng may mawala. No. Okay, so let us go again with the structure and function. Structure and function is a central unifying theme in biology, emphasizing that an organism's physical form and composition or structure directly relate to its role or purpose function. Structure and function are related to at the level of chemical in cells. For example, membrane channels and enzyme are both protein, but they have different structure and function. A channel is a protein molecule that extended through the membrane and it has tube that allows molecule that make chemical to pass in and out on the cell of the cell. While enzyme are protein molecule that make chemical processes possible in living things. These have shapes that allow them to attach to only certain chemical and cause chemical to react each other. Another example is the structure of bird's bone to contribute the bird's ability to fly. Birds have long extension of nerve cell that control their flight muscles. The heart structure includes chamber, valves, and blood vessel in which this structure help the heart pump blood throughout the body. There is harmony in form and function and how something works is related to its structure. In other words, form fits function. Okay, these are the second theme. So itong structure and function. The shape or structure of something is always connected to what it does. No. Katulad nga na mention niya na example, birds' bones are hollow so they can fly. Okay, so it is easy for the bird to fly just because their bones are so light. Magagaan lang yon. Tayong mga tao, kahit lagyan natin ng mga butong at kahit lagyan natin ng mga pakpak ang ating katawan, siguro possible na makakalipad tayo but we need a bigger we need the bigger wings to make ourselves fly. Pero our body is not designed to fly. No, medyo may kabigat at matigas. Simpleng ulo nga ng tao, it will weigh 5 kilos ulo pa lang. No. Okay, so inside cells, protein like enzyme have a special shape that allows them to speed up chemical reaction. Okay, so may mga enzyme like for example, ng mga enzyme na to, it start with the very simple saliva. Okay, kakain tayo. Yung unang enzyme na i-release ng ating katawan is the saliva. This enzyme will dissolve every protein starting from the mouth, then eventually, marami pang process yan. Ayun yung unang-unang enzyme na magdi-dissolve. That can speed up the chemical reaction from the food. Okay, another example, spoon is shaped to scoop food. No, ang mga kutsara ay nakadesign para mag-scoop ng pagkain. And the scissors are shaped to cut. In the same way, every part of an organism is designed to match its job. Okay, ang ating bibig, ang ating ngipin is designed to chew. Our lungs is designed to inhale and exhale and to get an oxygen. Our stomach is designed to digest the intestine. Okay. So, the other organism, the gills. o yung hasang decide to breathe inside in the water, and the wings of the birds are designed to fly. No, they have different function. Those are the structure. Yung structure ng formation ng body ng isang organism is designed for its function. Okay. Unifying theme, reproduction and inheritance. Okay, sexual reproduction is the union of male and female gametes to form fertilized egg or zygote. This resulting inherit one half of their traits from each parent. The process where haploid sex cells are created from haploid parents is called meiosis, and it occurs only in the reproductive organ. The division of cell to form new cells is the foundation for all reproduction and for the growth and repair of multicellular organism. When a cell divides, it copies its DNA and passes this genetic information to each of the cell it produces. Uh, the inherited DNA direct the transformation of the fertilized egg into person with his or her characteristic. Okay. So, just for your information, ang ating DNA ay nasa loob ng cells. Okay, inside the cells, there is a nucleus, and inside the nucleus, there is a chromosome. And inside the chromosome, doon na matatagpuan ang ating DNA. Okay, so the third theme is reproduction and inheritance. Okay, life continues because organism reproduces. Nagpo-produce tayo kaya nandito pa rin tayo. In sexual reproduction, sperm and egg cell join to form a zygote. No? Ang tawag doon, itong mga divisions of cells na ito ay tinatawag na meiosis. And the offspring inherit half its trait from each parent. Kalakalahati yan. But that is the normal incident. That is the normal process. Half of its half will inherit from both parents. No. Cells are divided and passed on DNA. As I've said kanina, ang tawag doon ay meiosis, ensuring the traits are copied and passed down. For example, if you will look at our family picture, children are often look like their parents, di ba? That is called inheritance. Okay, minamana ang DNA. Kaya nga, possible na sa yung mga ninuno, kanununuan, meron kang kamukha. Kasi they have, even your siblings, no? Kumukha mo. There are some, sinasabi nila, there are some hindi magkakamukha. Kasi minsan kamukha ng nanay ng tatay, hindi naman magkamukha ng nanay tatay. So, they divided na. Okay. I remember when I went to our province, my parents, okay, sa Bicol. Nagpunta ako doon, dami kong kamukha. Okay, para akong nananalamin kada lakad ko. So, napakarami. Okay, because of the DNA. DNA pass to from one generation to the next. Okay. Meron ngang app ginamit ko. Pinatanda ko yung sarili ko, mga 60. Kita ko ang mukha ko tatay ko, ganun. Okay. So, the next one is interaction with the environment. Individual organisms live together in an ecosystem and depend on each other. They have many different types of interaction with each other, and many of these interactions are critical for their survival. For example, the leaves of tree absorb light from the sun, takes in carbon dioxide from the air, and release oxygen to the air. Both organism and the environment are affected by the interaction between them. A trees. Oh, so sorry for the typo. That must be tree or yung puno. Trees interact with other organisms such as soil, microorganism associated with its roots, and insect that live in the tree, and animals that eat its leaves and fruit. Meron nga tayong kasabihan, no man is an island. This saying is also true for organism in an ecosystem. No organism exists in isolation. Okay, as I've said, I will read first, then I will explain. The fourth theme is interaction with the environment. Sabi diyan, no organism can live alone. For example, a tree absorbs sunlight and carbon dioxide, then releases oxygen that human and animal need. The tree also provide food for animals and shelter for insects. This show how living things and their environment depend on each other. Okay, that's why we say no man is an island. Humans need plant for food and oxygen, and plants need humans and animals for carbon dioxide. Humans cannot create or produce sugar. The only living organism that can create sugar is the plant. Bakit? So, through the process of photosynthesis, ginagawa nila, inabsorb, the plants are absorbing all the energy or the sunlight. Then, through the process of photosynthesis, they are converting those energy into sugar. Then, these plants nakapag-produce na ng sugar, then the animals and the humans will consume those trees or plants, then convert it into our own energy. Okay. So we cannot live alone. If one of those living organisms will lost, no one can survive. No, I think plants can survive without human, but we human we cannot survive without the plants and animals. No. Okay, another one is energy in life. Energy is the ability to do work. Our work is done when force moves object while the sun provides energy or the entire planet. The sun's energy must be transformed into more usable form for living organism. Energy is obtained in chemical form in sugar, fats, other fuel-like molecules in your food. Your cell use the energy for all their work. You can trace energy through an ecosystem. Energy flows into an ecosystem as sunlight and exits in the form of heat. A simplified of this energy flow through a forest ecosystem. Chemical energy and stores in our food is converted to other form of energy as the organism carries out work and its life activities. Okay, as I've said, I will read first, then I will explain. Okay, the fifth theme is the energy and life. Energy is needed to do work. Okay, we cannot move, we cannot work without energy. Although we can move, we can act or we can do work without eating siguro mga 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Okay. So, but still we need energy. Okay, the main source of energy is the sun. But living things cannot use sunlight directly, as I've said earlier. Okay, plants change sunlight into food, and animals get energy by eating plants or other animals. In every ecosystem, energy flows from the sun and eventually leaves as heat. Okay, may na-mention nga kanina, the energy flow can be seen in an ecosystem. Bakit? To start in the plants. Ang plants, magsisimula siya pagkuha ng energy from the sun. Then, eventually, i-consume ito ng mga animals, the humans, or the other animals will eat the other animals and the plants. Then, nagkakaroon ng cycle. That is the cycle of energy in the ecosystem. Okay, another example, when you eat rice, your body convert the chemical energy into movement and heat. Just like phone battery powers the phone, no? Yung, the battery can power the phone. Okay, yun yung sa kanilang energy. But us, we need food. Okay, number six, regulation. Organism must have the ability to regulate homeostasis. It is sorry for the typo. It is the maintenance of a constant internal condition in an organism. Homeostasis is important because cell function best within a limit range of condition. Temperature, blood sugar, acidity, and other conditions must be controlled. Breakdown in homeostasis are often life-threatening. Homeostasis is usually maintained through a process called negative feedback. In negative feedback, a change in a system causes a response that tends to return that system to its original state. For example, body temperature, if you're too hot, your body makes you sweat to cool you down. And if you're too cold, your body makes you shiver to generate heat. Blood pressure regulation. If blood pressure rises, blood vessel relax to reduce resistance to blood flow and slow the heart rate. If blood pressure falls, blood vessel constrict to increase resistance and speed up the heart rate. Okay, so regulation. The sixth part of unifying team is the regulation, or the regulation in science we call it, or in our body or in the living organism we call it homeostasis. Okay, the sixth team ang regulation. So this is called homeostasis, ang regulation, which means keeping the body's internal balance. Paano nga ba binabalance? For example, nabanggit kanina, when it's hot, your body sweats to cool down. Kaya nga, you can experience an indifferent scenario when you are sick or you are doing a hard activity. Like, for example, if you are sick, ang init-init mo, you can feel that you're not feeling well. Once na pinagpawisan ka na, you feel, you can feel, parang magaan sa pakiramdam pag pinagpapawisan ka. Parang bumubuti yung pakiramdam mo. No? Okay. So, while you are doing an activity, kapag kasi tayo, nagtatrabaho tayo, kumikilos tayo, gumagawa tayo physically, okay, our body is getting hotter. So, uh, ang ginagawa ng katawan natin, they are producing or they are exerting a sweat to make our body, to make those temperature lower. Okay. Another example, think of an air condition. No? If the room is too hot, it cools it down. If it's too cold, it's warm it up. Your body works the same way to keep balance. Ayan ang homeostasis. Keeping your body in a balanced state. Okay. So for the number seven, evolution and adaptation. So evolution means a process of change. Biologists use the word evolution specifically to mean a generation to generation change in the proportion of different inherited genes in a population. An adaptation is an inherited trait that help the organism ability to survive and reproduce in its particular environment. It is a change in the species over generation in order to better survive in the environment. The example of Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, stated the ancestor of giraffes might have adapted to shortage of food from short trees by stretching their neck to reach higher branches. Okay, so as I've said, I will read first, then I will explain. The seventh theme is evolution and adaptation. Evolution is the process of change over generation, while the adaptation is a trait that helps an organism survive. Halimbawa, a polar bear adapt to survive in a cold. Kaya nga, how does this polar bear, adapt in a very extreme environment, napakalamig, hindi sila namamatay kahit natutulog. Tayo nga, pagtao na nandun sa lugar na yun, bawal kang huminto, bawal kang mag-steady kasi once na matulog ka or mag-steady ka, patay ka na kaagad. We cannot we cannot survive in that extreme environment. But how come those polar bear can adapt? Just because they develop their thick fur and thick fats to survive in a cold. In-explain nga ni Lamarck na about sa giraffe neck. According to him, na giraffe survive better in a fast and traits. Itong giraffe na to, they have long neck by saying itong giraffe nagkaroon ng long neck because of the condition and the situation. Bakit? During the time before the giraffe, nagkaroon ng long neck ang giraffe, according to them, nagkaroon ng kulangan ng pagkain. Then eventually, since there are a lot of living organisms na medyo may kaliitan, then they consume leaves and green foods na mas mababa. So nagkaroon ng competition sa food. Then to adapt, itong mga giraffe, they tried to get much more higher leaves or itong mga dahon para makuha. Then eventually they evolve or they develop this kind of neck. Okay, so another example, think of evolution like updating a cell phone. No, over time it changes and improves to adapt to new needs species to do the same through adaptation. Okay, so that is our last part. Okay, so the next one is uh I will send this to your GCs para sa UMS 1, UMS 2, UMS 3, and other grade 11. If you want to have an advanced lesson, you can watch this video. Then to your GCs, I will send or I will ask the mayor to send the information that you need to do for your assessment. Okay, so that's all. With that, thank you and goodbye, everyone. I will send your activity to your mayors.